All right, class 3, here we go. So key points for this class, we're going to go into a little bit more of the emotional mediumship and what that is, tapping into our emotions, psychic shielding and protection. And that's really going to be the main part of this class, is really looking at that, the emotional side, because feeling is a big part of mediumship, feeling. Especially in the beginning as you're learning, you will start to feel all kind of things. And so we want to touch that. And then protection is the other part, understanding what that means for you. So as always, we're going to start with a quote. So this one is from David Kushiri. The mind is a powerful force. It can enslave us or empower us. It can plunge us into the depths of misery or take us to the heights of ecstasy. Learn to use the power wisely. And that is really going to tie into our protection portion of it, because everything is really getting into you standing into your power and not really relying on all of the other things that we use, because all of us in the beginning of everything are using, we have tons of crystals and we have sage and Florida water and everything, and all of those things are great, but it means nothing if you don't stand in your power, right? So the homework, I have not received any homework thus far. So not sure if you guys have been able to do any of the homework. I'm not sure if anything is coming up for you or just haven't sent it in yet. Just remember that the homework does count also for the certification. So I do need that homework. So try to work it in and get it to me, pretty soon, as we're
halfway through the class.
Pretty much.
And not only that, it's kind of like key into stepping into your mediumship, because if you don't do the homework, you're not really trying to develop in that area. You know what I mean?
Right. So, of course, I don't want to go too far of harping on homework, because it is for your benefit, you guys, to do the homework, but it's good for us on our side to see how you're doing in your sitting with spirit guides. I know there was an issue last week with the homework and the emails, because I sent it from the new email, which is the DMG healers and readings. And I know it was going into a lot of people's spam, not even just for mediumship, for everything that I was doing. And everyone's looking for the AG milestones, and it's coming from the new email. So moving forward, as the website is progressing, I do have now an email just for everything related to Divine One Goddess healers and readings, which mediumship falls under that. So check your spam if you didn't get it. It's
literally, because it will be in your spam. Mine was in my spam, because I'm like, I'm not seeing anything of what you're talking about. And then when you were like, check the spam, and it was right there, the first one, the only one actually.
So that's probably where it is. I think a lot of people it is. So just, if you can't find it, let me know. I will resend class 2, because I know, like Brenda, I know you and Megan weren't here last week, or I think you weren't here last week. So I know that's, just let me know. And you're not really behind if you think, because the classes aren't structured in the way where if you didn't listen to that, you'll be lost in this one, because we're kind of talking about a different subject here. It will tie together as you look at it and watch too. So I know Megan has to catch up as well. So I think that was the problem of just the email being from a different place and not from what you guys were used to on the first ones coming to you. So just moving forward, you guys just kind of, know that it's coming from the DMG. So again, I would love to see the homework. I would love it to come in, and definitely for those certifications, I will need the homework. Okay.
So you're saying everything that you send us, that we haven't seen it on our original pages in our spam folder?
It might be, because when I was originally emailing you guys, I was emailing you from the AG Milestones, which is the Divine Moon Goddess Tarot email. And over this past week, I have created an email just for the website, which is dmghealersandreadings@gmail.com. And so you might not have paid attention and it could have went straight to your spam, because I emailed the homework and the link to class 2 from last week. So it had everything in that email. So if you didn't receive it with the homework instructions, then most likely it's sitting in your spam.
Okay, because I've been looking, like, especially when it's time for class,
Right.
I'll check to see if you sent us anything new or any updates or whatever. And I've literally, the last message I got was when we first started the class, and that was for class number 1.
Right, and that's from a different email. I've switched the email. So if you're looking, it's probably in your spam. From
Okay,
G.
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, because I didn't know it was gonna go straight to everybody's spam. Like I didn't know, like, and I literally, you guys, not just for Mediumship, it's been everyone that I have emailed, it has been in their spam folder. So I don't know if it's just because it's a new email or whatnot. I freaking don't know. So just check. If it's not there, like if you really, really, really can't find it, I will resend it, but it is not going to come from the first email that I emailed you guys from. That's what I need you to look for. It's going to come from the DMG healersandreadings@gmail.com. So,
I got a question.
Can I talk a second?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I have my homework done. I'm doing it on manual paper because I don't know how to put it in there, but I have it on manual paper. If you want me to screenshot it and send it to you, I don't know how to do it on the website.
You could do that. You could take a picture and send it to me. That's fine.
Okay, because I'm doing a notebook from the videos from our classes. I'm keeping a notebook and I'm doing my homework on my notebook, if you don't mind, please, ma'am.
That's fine. I've had people do that before. You could take a picture and send it to me. That's fine. As long as we
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, as long as we can read it, you're good.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Okay. So yeah, just you check your folders because you'll get another email tonight from me. It is going to come from the new email. So just let me know. I won't be home all weekend. So just know that, because I will be leaving like a little bit after this class. I will be leaving. So if anything, I'll, have now the other emails, I could just resend those because those are already in my email, right? But for anything new, of course, I won't be able to fix it until I get back. All right.
Also, real quick before we start the grounding, when you go into your guys' spam folder and you click the email that you see from her, it'll ask you to move
You got to
that
quiet down a little
email.
bit, please.
It'll ask you to move that email out of your spam. So each time she sends you something, it will not go into the spam. It'll go back into your original inbox. Because that's what it asked me. Would you like to keep this email in your spam or move it into your inbox? And I just clicked yes to move it to the inbox, and then I see you pop up all the time.
Okay, awesome.
But that's it.
Okay, awesome sauce. All right, so before we get in, I know we have the hustle and bustle. I do have you all on mute just so I can tailor the noise in the background from all of us. All right, so go ahead and sit up nice and straight. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to go ahead and start to concentrate on your breathing. So you're going to breathe in through your nose, deep into your chest. Now, of course, if you have any chest or lung problems, I don't want you to do too much on the breathing. Just breathe normal. But if not, I want you to breathe down deep into the chest. And then I want you to exhale out of your mouth. So in through your nose. Hold it for 3 seconds. And then I want you to release. Now, the whole time we're doing this, I want you to continue to breathe as you keep releasing the day, releasing the stress, releasing the worries. Now, of course, I want you to just imagine that beautiful crown chakra sparking open, right? So we can let all of that beautiful knowledge in from Creator. And we're going to open up that We're going to keep pushing that energy down, allow that energy to flow within our crown chakra. And I want you to keep pushing it down to that third eye. And if you don't know where the third eye is, that's kind of between your eyes, that space. And we're going to open that up. And that's that violet, purplish light, indigo, however you say it, so many purples. We're going to keep pushing that beautiful, beautiful light down into our throat chakra, and we're going to push that one open as well and ignite it. We're going to keep pushing that beautiful, beautiful white light, beautiful positive energy from Creator. And we're going to keep pushing it through the crown and through the third eye and down in the throat. We're going to push it down into that heart space. And we're going to open up that heart space and that beautiful green energy, and we're going to keep pulling down that energy through the crown, through the third eye, through the throat, through the heart. We're going to push it on down to the solar plexus, which is a little bit above our navel, that center power center of ours. And we're going to keep pushing that beautiful, beautiful energy down through our crown, through our third eye, through our throat, through our heart, through our solar. We're going to push it on down to our sacral chakra. And we're going to pop that one open also. And we're going to allow our passions to kind of revive and come alive, right? That beautiful orange light. And we're going to keep pulling that beautiful, beautiful positive energy down through our crown, through our third eye, our throat, our heart, our solar, our sacral. And we're going to push it on down to our root. And we're going to pop that one open also, right? And we're going to find some stability and grounding in what we're doing today. And that red, beautiful light. And we're going to keep pulling that beautiful energy all the way down through each and every one of our chakras. And then we're going to allow that energy to flow through us and down our legs like roots, like a rope, however you want to see it, like an anchor. And we're going to push that beautiful energy down into Mother Gaia. And we're going to go down, 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 keep going through each layer of Mother Gaia until you reach all the way down, 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 until you reach that beautiful center of Mother Gaia. And to feel her warm embrace and loving energy. And we're going to anchor into her beautiful, beautiful energy, right? And we're going to allow her flow to flow up through us, through each and every chakra, up into Creator. And we're going to allow that beautiful energy to flow like an infinity symbol, just from Creator down into Mother Gaia and back up. And just keep visualizing that beautiful energy flowing through you, nice, balanced, secure, and stable, and refreshed, and opening and balancing each and every one of those chakras. And then allow that beautiful energy to flow back down to Mother Gaia. But we're not going to detach from Mother Gaia. We're going to stay around it. And we're going to allow that beautiful energy to come back up through each and every chakra to Creator energy. And we're going to allow our crown to stay open, because we do not want to close the beautiful information coming from Creator, Source, God, however you see the energy. But we are always protected, and we are always guided through our angels and our spirit guides and our ancestors that are around us. And so this is a very safe circle, and we're going to allow them to support us and protect us as we go through this class. And then once you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Now, I do want to know if there's anything different that you experienced tonight or saw. No, nobody.
I'm getting better with it. Before, I think I was a little bit too stuck in my mind, like this isn't real type of thing. And now I'm visualizing more, like as you're saying that, I'm actually picturing like a white light going through my crown and third eye and everything, and going down and anchoring into the earth. And that's where I had the hardest part for the most time, because I'm on the second story of an apartment building. So I'm like, okay, I'm picturing this light going through someone else's house, going through the ground. And I had a hard time for the longest thinking about this. But now I actually see that light going through, anchoring into this big heart in Mother Earth. And when it's coming back up to me, like it's actually like rainbow colors. So when it hits each chakra, those colors are lighting up for me. Like that's how I'm envisioning it now.
That is amazing. That is awesome. I'm sorry.
You're good. And that's the thing, because, you know, most of us, that's where we struggle in the beginning, because it is hard to start to visualize that, because when you're so much into the 3D, because that's life, right? That's life. It's what I can see, I can touch. I'm here and I'm on the third story too. So it's kind of like, okay, how the hell am I envisioning these roots going through the apartment? You know, but as you keep practicing it, you take yourself out of this 3D plane and you go into the next one where you can do it all in that energetic place, which is awesome to get into. And that's what it is. It's just practice opens it up, practice gets you there. And every time you sit and do this, the deeper and deeper you get to connect, the more you see, because you're also awakening your imagination, which a lot of us cut off after our childhood, or in some of us during childhood, right? Because we got to grow up. So your imagination is everything. And we kind of have to awaken that as we're doing this, because if you can't see it and imagine it and believe that it's true, like the make believe, right? Then there's no way to get into the other dimensions because you don't believe it's there. You feel like it's still separate from you. And so that's the beauty of just working through it. Anybody else? Nope. If anybody's talking, you're on mute. Okay.
Okay, I meditated during this while I took my cleansing shower tonight before class. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to sit here for 2 hours. So I'm kind of a little bit more restless right now, trying to sit down from that.
Okay. Why do you find that you're restless?
I'm sitting here focusing.
Okay. But why does that make you restless?
Because when I meditate and to do something like this, it's like a different meditation than I would use for sleep. Or it's different. It's just different.
Okay. Okay.
Different kind of meditation to do this versus the other meditations I do.
Right. Because of course we're not trying to put you to sleep.
Oh no, I didn't do the sleep meditation. I done the. We're gonna go do some spiritual work meditation tonight. We talked to spirits tonight for a minute. They thought I had drowned.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's a little.
Your voice is very soothing though, AG. So sometimes I don't do the meditation whenever you do it, because I'm like, okay, if I've like had like a long day and I'm like going in and I'm like for like meditation Mondays, like I've come to realize I can't listen to you when I'm driving. I can't, like I'll rewatch it when I get home, or you know what I mean? Because I'll end up getting like super tired, or just, because I'm releasing. So it just makes me then listening to your voice and I'm just like, all right, I'm about to knock out.
Like, say if you're driving.
Yeah, no, I learned my lesson. I'm like, yeah, no, there's just no way. I wanted to vibe, but I'm like,
Right.
I just can't do it.
Oh, it's like that. Megan, were you gonna say anything?
Yeah, sorry. I was basically agreeing with, I think her name is Jerome, how it kind of came into picture a little more.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely different. And so when you're like, this is kind of like the shift you would do when you're gonna sit in that, mediumship kind of setting. You're gonna shift because it really is your imagination and being able to see beyond what you see, beyond the physical plane. So as you practice, it's gonna get better and better and clearer as you do it. And get used to it, especially if you've been doing your own thing for a while. Of course, it just feels different. So it's just working it and then tailoring it to your own, because you guys could use this and tailor it to your own way as well. All right. So let's jump into understanding mediumship a little bit more. So mediumship there's a huge responsibility when we come into mediumship. One, we're dealing with people's families. We're dealing with people who are grieving. We're dealing with the responsibility of, especially in a profession, is that you want to make sure that you're standing in your integrity. I always talk about this all the time, where I see a lot of mediums that say what they think you want to hear versus what's really coming out from the person. And me personally, I feel like you always should stand in the integrity. Yes, it sounds better to say what you think that they want to hear to make someone feel better in the moment, but you want to keep it tailored to what is actually coming through. Everyone wants the message of "I'm so proud of you" and "I love you," but if that's not what you're getting, don't say it, okay? You have a duty to the spirit that's speaking to you to say what they are authentically translating from that message. And sometimes it could get a little harsh, okay? Raise your vibration. That is the best thing. And I'm not even talking about just connecting with past loved ones. This is connecting to angels, to guides, to goddesses, to gods, however you see or wherever you want in your path. You have to raise your vibration to match them. We are at a lower vibration because we're human. We're already at a lower vibration. Now, it takes you to keep raising that, which is being happy, which just being fucking happy raises your vibration. So make sure that before you go into any setting, that you are making sure that you are at your highest vibration. One of the things, if you watch me long enough, you know that there's times where I don't do mediumship. I don't, because I'm not at a high vibration. I'm at a lower vibration. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more about when you're at a low vibration, what happens to you and how vulnerable you get in your energy. And so you want to make sure that you're at a place of that highest vibration. If you guys notice at the beginning, I'm always playing music and I'm doing that, raising the vibration on my lives. Do that for yourself before you go into a session, okay? Ask yourself why you want to be a medium. Why do you want to strengthen this gift? Why do you want to be able to talk to past loved ones? Why do you want to open this? Because yeah, a lot of times there's a selfish need for all of us to want to communicate to our past loved ones, but make sure that you're being genuine and you're keeping your whys clear, because spirit sees all, right? No matter what we think, spirit sees all. Let go of any limiting belief systems. So the thing that only gifted people have the ability to speak to past loved ones, or doubting yourself, saying, well, I'm not getting it. It's not me. Because I will guarantee, as you strengthen your skills, you sit with spirit, you do the work, you do the tips, you're going to connect on a different level. So let go of anything limiting you to reach this potential to be a medium, okay? Because we are all born with this right. This is not something that spirit picks and chooses. We all have it. We just have to strengthen it and see it and believe it, and then we're able to connect on that level. Practice, practice, practice. The only real way to strengthen your skills is to do the work. A lot of people get very scared. Even me in the beginning was scared to say the wrong shit, was scared to say something that didn't, because when spirit's speaking to you, it's coming very quickly, and some of it sounds like gibberish, and then some of it is like, I have no idea what the fuck they're trying to say. And so you think that you're saying some weird shit, but sometimes, and matter of fact, most of the time, it all makes sense to the person you're reading. So just remember the doubts, the fear, let go of that. And the only way to truly, it's going to be a yes or no. If someone knows, yes. If they don't, they're going to say they don't know. 9 times out of 10 later on, that information will hit them because they will have time to process it. In the moment when you're on the other side of it and you're trying to get a message from a loved one, your adrenaline is going crazy. You're very anxious because you want to hear certain things. And so there's a lot of things that don't click until later. So just remember, practice is always going to get you there, and don't be afraid to say whatever's coming up. It's either going to resonate or it doesn't. In the moment, it may or may not sound like it, but at least they can take it back to their family, and then they can say, okay, oh yeah, my brother, I didn't remember this, but my brother remembered it, because I have heard that before from people, okay? Sit with you, just how we've been doing the sit with your higher self, the sit with your, I think we started the spirit team. Know your emotions before you go in. Jesse, what were you going to say?
No, nothing. I did on accept.
Oh, know your emotions before you go into it. That's how you shift from the feeling. And we're going to talk more about emotions. But when you sit and you know where you're at, then you're going to know, okay, I had a fucked up day. I'm irritated today. then you know it's yours. But if you're bubbly and bright and nothing's going on and you're in a fairly good mood and then all of a sudden you get a rush of fucking sadness, well, you know it's not yours. That is to someone else. That's how you know, okay, this person's loved one is coming in and they're very sad. Sometimes you'll feel like a very calmness come in. Sometimes you'll feel an anger, you know, sometimes some people are pissed off. So know where you're at. Study yourself. This is how you really get to know who's who and what's what. Because once you really know who you are and your emotions, then you will know when the other energies come in. Okay, you'll know the shift. Knowing your aura is up to you. I personally don't go into a lot of aura stuff. It's just not my thing, but you definitely can look into it. You can know it. You can understand it. You can look into it more, okay? Like I said, your higher self, for me, is everything. Some people rely on their spirit guides, and that is your path if you do. Just in my path, I've always been tailored to speak to my higher self, and I didn't have those spirit guides sitting next to me talking to me. But if you do, trust them, speak to them, go with them, you know, follow what they're telling you. Know your mind. Your thoughts are everything. So know who, and I feel like in the beginning, that's one of the big things is knowing, how do I know it's me or them? Okay. When you're talking and then you just get this, what you think is a random, especially in mediumship, like if you're doing mediumship and then you get this random ass thought, you know, it didn't come from you. That's how you know it's not yours. But if you're sitting here and I'm doing mediumship and then, oh, I'm thinking about my bills, that's yours. Now you're thinking about your bills and shit. But that's not how it comes through. It normally comes through as some random information that you're just like, why am I thinking about this bike right now? You know, this blue bike at that. And then the person's like, oh my God, I had a blue bike when I was little. You know, it's kind of that information. So know your thoughts, know your stuff, compared to what just kind of comes in as a quick random thought. It's never random, but that's how it comes in. I don't know if you wanted to add to that before I go into the protecting.
No, you can go ahead. We can go ahead and move forward.
Okay.
You hit that on the T, baby. That was just perfectly said.
So just remember that you're feeling emotions, whether it being sad, whether it being angry, whatever, those are feeling. You also can feel, you know, hurts and pains, somebody who broke their shoulder. Sometimes I feel stuff that happened to them when they were alive, not necessarily when they died. Okay, so just be like mindful about that. It's not always about their death. Sometimes someone never shows me how they died. Sometimes they only show me the shit that happened in life. They don't show me that. So it really depends on the person that's coming through with you, okay? So just
or like who they are now, like in the afterlife. Like sometimes they're like, you know, who they used to be at their favorite age, or, you know, just recently, I surprisingly, my husband wanted me to read him in this whole mediumship because he's like he's skeptic, and he's like, you know, oh, you don't know, like, I know everything about you. It's going to be hard for me to, you know, say some stuff when I know half the people that are gone or whatever. So it was a challenge, a test. And his grandfather had came through, and the way that he presented himself was like back in like the early days, and he wasn't blind. He wasn't, you know, he was young, he was wild and free. Like he was like, you know, just the way that he presented himself was way much younger than when I first met him. I'm like, I don't know this man, but the way that he's presenting himself, I think it is your granddad. Like, but I'm not sure in the way. I was like, did he wear hats? Did he do this? Did he do that? Because I don't know. And he was like, wow, I think so. I think so. He wasn't really sure because of how he was presenting himself also. And so he had to ask his mom, because his mom knows a little bit more of how, you know, how he was and things like that. And I got that confirmation. He was like, yeah, that's how he was. That's, you know, it's him. And, you know, so that also is a thing too, y'all. So they may, you know, be 25, and even though they passed at the age of 80 or 90 or what have you. So.
Right. Right. I didn't think about, I have not had anyone come through like that. They normally come to me at the age like the age that they've passed, you know, they
Oh,
have,
really?
yeah, I haven't had
Wow.
anyone that's come through. Now I've heard it. I've seen a lot of mediums who have like, you know, someone who picks, you know, because some people who are gone and they kind of get to know and they're like, you know what, no, I like this age, and then they kind of go. I actually have not had one person do that. It would be pretty neat to kind of see that. You know,
Yeah, it was pretty cool because it was confusing at first, I'm not gonna lie, because the way that I remember his granddad was not like that. You know, he obviously was a lot older and wasn't in and out of nursing homes and needed, you know, help to get taken care of and could
right,
barely walk. And that wasn't him. That's why I was like, well, are you sure? And then he was like, I don't really know, but I think so. And then later on, getting that confirmation. That was honestly, from what I remember, I'm gonna have to look back in my journals. Um, being the first time that actually happened and experiencing that. But yeah, it was definitely it was more confusing than it was anything else. So
right.
having to like go back, I would have to read my notes after reading him and how I felt and things like that. But yeah, it was pretty cool
Right.
thinking back on it. So
Yeah. Just, you know, make those notes, because even little things that you feel, I've talked about it before, like a little breeze on your shoulder, or if you feel like someone's grabbing your shoulder, or you feel like a certain ache or pain that you know isn't yours. Those are all signs of someone kind of shifting through and kind of connecting with you. It's really that we don't pay attention to that stuff. We think it's ours. But when you get to more concentrating where you guys are at, you're concentrating more on it. So you're able to now pinpoint and see, like, wait a minute, this isn't mine. This is
exactly.
pain.
Especially that out of nowhere pain. Like if you don't ever usually get pain in that certain area, like that happened to me like I think a few days ago. And I know I have stomach issues, but it was like a different kind of like, you know, feeling that I've never felt before. And I'm like, nope, not today. I was like, I kept, you know, repeating like this isn't mine. I do not claim this. Like I remove it. And then lo and behold, a few minutes later, it started like easing away. And I'm like, look, spirit, I'm not feeling it today. Like I'm mentally not there. Like just leave me alone. Hit me another day when you feel that my vibration is higher, because and you know it definitely can happen. So even, you know, those little random pains, like don't claim that if you're not trying to read somebody.
Well, that's where the boundaries come in. That's where the boundaries
Yeah.
say, I'm not doing it today, not right now. Like
What we used to say, we have our business hours.
this is
Like that's what we used to say.
now sometimes they don't care, because I have been in a couple places where spirit just kept bugging me and itching at me. Like on Mother's Day, I went to do my first facial this past Mother's Day. And I was laying there and I'm getting a facial, and I just keep seeing this young man. And it's a tragic death. And he just keeps showing me like a visual or like some type of ceremony kind of. And so I'm like, okay, you're just not going away. You're just not going to leave me alone. And so I asked the lady, you know, after my facial, because I was like, look, I'm going to get my facial and then I'll ask her. Because I don't want to just start talking to someone in the middle of my facial and then she can't.
She can't finish because she's all emotional and stuff like that. Right.
Know how someone's going to act. You don't act. So afterwards, I asked her, and it wasn't her. She was like, no, not me. And I was like, okay, I'll ask, you know, maybe someone at the front desk. And so I did. When I was checking out, I was like, look, I always start with, I know this is going to sound crazy, you know, because I never know how someone's going to react. And then I asked you, have you lost someone, you know, I don't know if it's recent or not, young, male, blah, 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 blah. And then the girl at the front, she was actually pretty new to the spa. but it was her, and the anniversary actually was coming up, and they always do like a ceremony for their friend. It was a very close friend. And I was just like, shit, look at that, you know? So sometimes when spirit really, really needs to get that message, they will keep bothering you because it's a reason. It's not that they're just bothering you for no fucking reason at all. Like that girl happened, they've been doing this, a vigil for their person, and it's just the person really wanted to know, like, I see what you guys do for me, I see I'm there. And it was very short and sweet. It wasn't a long drawn out like message. It was just really short and sweet. So if you have that happening, sometimes it's best to just go ahead and give the message. Sometimes I'm a little stubborn when it happens.
Right.
The spirit knows. Normally I'm like, leave me the fuck alone when I'm out and about. Just let me be. I do way too much all day, every day. Like, leave me alone. But you'll see it happen. So going into protecting and shielding, all right, know that one of the biggest things is you got to learn how the universe works and its sacred fabric. And when we say that, we don't know everything. Myself, I don't fucking know everything. I try to learn as much as I can. And the biggest way to get your information is of course in meditation. Meditation with your guides, your higher self, or creator. You can be in meditation and speak to creator energy, right? Same thing if you were praying to God, same concept, right? So understanding that our universe goes so much more than this physical plane, and believing in how that works, and being, you kind of surrender to what can be, and you surrender to what is, instead of just thinking that what we know in this 3D reality is all, okay? Understand and believe that you are always in control. So one of the biggest things coming into mediumship is most people don't want to open the ability because they're afraid that all the demons are going to come out. And that's not how it works. Of course, if you stay in a lower vibration and you believe and you're always looking over your shoulder for the demons, they will be there because now you're calling them in. So one of the things you have to remember is that you are always in control, meaning that you are protected. Yes, there are lower vibrational energies, but they're not always out to attack you, kill you, and do all this crazy shit, okay? If you stay in a fear mode, then they will be around you, but it's because you're calling it in. Remember, everything we do is vibrational, right? Everything we do, everything that comes towards us is something we're calling in on some vibrational level. So if you understand how energy works and how you're a magnet to the energy and signals that you send out to the universe, then you will not stay in that vibration of looking over your shoulder or being afraid of what's coming. You will trust your guides, you will trust your angels, that they have your back and that you are protected. I'm not saying that evil, it doesn't exist, because I've seen it and I've, kind of wrestled with one particular myself. But what I'm saying is that you do have to get into the mode of understanding that you are a powerful being. You're just in this shell, okay? Understanding that life doesn't end when we die. Our life is a blip of our existence. We are these beautiful spiritual beings. We go beyond this time and space. We are, and everyone has their belief systems. I do believe that we are multi-dimensional beings, okay? I don't believe that our whole spirit is in this body. I only believe part of it is. More of it is our ego, which is our persona in this life. And yes, our higher self is the more of our spirit that knows all of our past life and all of that other shit, right? So understand that this is just a blip of our existence. Exactly, right? So if you understand that and you know that the death is not the ending, then you know that you're able to connect with other people who have passed because they're not dead. That term of like they're gone forever, that was embedded in us in other traditions and cultural shit, right? But we've have experiences. I'm pretty sure each and every one of you can pinpoint and name places, instances when you were little that you've seen, that you felt, that you've experienced already in your life. So you know that they're still here. It's just about shifting and staying in the belief system where you know that there's this thin layer between us and them, and not that they're miles and miles away from us, okay? Clear intentions are everything. So before any I would say session, before you even do your own, let's say you're not even doing this for clients, let's say you're just doing this for you, make sure you sit down with your clear intention of what it is that you're expecting. What is it that you're trying to do? Well, I'm sitting here with my higher self. What is it that I'm really asking from my higher self in this moment? So get very clear with what you need. That way you're not sitting there just drawing at stars and you're sitting with spirit or sitting with your higher self. You want to have those clear intentions to say, okay, what am I doing in this moment? Okay, if I'm contacting Grandma Betty, what am I really asking? Okay, I'm asking for this person to come here, but what do I really want? You know, when I'm doing the mediumship, it's kind of like that, thinking my questions to spirit, but I'm asking, like, what is it that you want me to tell this person who's waiting for a message for you? What is it that you would like me to say? You know, anything else that you want me to say? And sometimes it's funny, the hilarious shit that comes out of the past person, because you're like, all right, we're going to go with that. Make sure that you have some core principles about who you are when it comes to your gifts. There's a lot of people out that are in it for the money. Mediumship is a very lucrative business, you guys, and just keeping it real. But make sure that you have some core principles of what you're willing and not willing to do. I've seen, like I said, I've seen a lot of mediums that unfortunately, they say what people want to hear versus saying what is truly there. I've had to tell people that their person is not coming through, that I'm not connecting, just because I refuse to go past that, my integrity of what I mean, what I say, and I say what I mean. So if I'm here and I'm trying to connect and I don't get nothing, I'm not just going to start drawing shit and be like, you know, give some bullshit generic ass message. Personally, I think that is wrong. So just remember, bring those core principles into you of what you're willing to do. It is not ashamed to be like, I can't connect with your person, because spirit is doing other shit. I guarantee you they have other things to do than just, and we don't know the extent of what spirit's doing. We just think they're dead and they're chilling. Some of them have jobs to do outside of this life. Some of them are actually doing other shit. So we have to remember that. We have to keep that into our thought process that maybe they're just really fucking busy right now, or maybe they just don't have nothing to say. You know, as the one, like if I'm the client or if I'm the person, I want to speak to my mom right now and my mom doesn't show up, doesn't mean that my mom didn't love me. It's that mom is like, no, right now is not the time, because sometimes it's not the right time for the message also, okay?
Or they just know that you're not ready to take it to that level, to know that they are with you. Somebody else might come forward with that message that you might be wanting, or, you know, they might be wanting to hear or whatever. That doesn't mean that mom or dad isn't there. It's just that uncle, you didn't really take a, you know, you're able to hear more and be more comfortable with uncle than you are to hear it with dad, but know that he's still there or whatever as well.
Right. Sometimes the other family comes out and you're like, why is
Wait, what? Yeah, for sure.
I've had a client, like, out of all the people that come up, like, fucker comes up like it's the evil grandfather and shit, and it's like, he's trying to get the forgiveness. You need to work on this with this person. This is where this person is coming up. So sometimes it is like that, where you're like, well, damn, okay, well, this is where we're going. This went left really quickly. But still stick to it. Stick to what the message, stick to the person who's truly coming out, because it is what it is, right? Believe in your team and also believe in your higher self. Trust in your higher self. One, your higher self is always protecting you. It has since you were a fucking kid, okay? That is the main source spirit around you that has been protecting you, other than your angels and your spirit team, okay? If you have spirit guides, believe in them. If you have angels, believe in them. They are here to assist you. Some of you guys got your ancestors that are front and center. Believe in them. They are assisting you. It's when you don't believe in them and you think you're going to be harmed that here come the lower vibrational shit to bother you, okay?
AKA surrendering.
Oh, that word. So, I feel like it's a fucking horrible movie. If you have have any type of control issues. Just the word surrender is like, no.
letting go and letting someone else. Yeah, it just, yeah. That whole word is just deep in itself, because that's one of the hardest things that you just have to do, is that surrender for things to like follow through, and putting the pieces together. And because if you don't surrender and you're holding back, you're always going to have that big question mark.
Right.
So you got to work through it. It is hard. I feel like nothing is ever easy, especially when it comes to mediumship and just connecting, period. It's all about that surrendering too.
It's actually easy. We just make it hard. You guys, we I made this shit way harder, even now, because I have a thing with spirit coming too close to me. Okay. So I have a thing of them coming too close, because I'm just like, no, I don't need you speaking through me. Just tell me the message and leave me alone. And so I have a big problem with that, because sometimes spirits are aggressive. Sometimes spirits are very aggressive and they want to get, they want to come through. Now, some people are okay, which is trans mediumship. Some people are okay with spirit coming and then they're channeled them and all that shit. Me, no. I'm like, no, leave me the fuck alone. Just tell me the message. Don't speak through me. So if you ever want to go up and then keep going with it, you can channel and you can definitely allow spirit to come through you in like, it's kind of like a possession. I ain't cool with that, but you definitely can do it. That's my problem. Like, you're too close. Get off of me. I feel you too close.
I mean, I just feel like, personally, I just feel like there's me and how I am. It's just, there's just no need for that extra. You know what I mean? As long as the message get received and a love and light matter, let's just keep moving forward. We don't need to go up.
Just don't need to cross those boundaries. But I see it, like, if you've ever watched Abraham Hicks, which she channels through, I want to say it's Abraham, but and they say we, like when she switches over, it's a we. I've seen a lot of people do that. So it's a safe. You have to trust it. That's the surrender. You have to trust that you're safe. You got to trust that they're coming with no harm and they're just coming for, to give a message. But my trust, I don't have that trust yet. I'm still trying to build my trust. I don't think I will ever get there to where I will actually allow any entity to speak through me in that way. But like I said, you guys can definitely move forward and up, and don't be afraid, but you will have to surrender to get there. Step outside of this matrix, you guys. This 3D reality is only a small fraction of what's going on around us. And that's really understanding. It's not just all about the good and evil fight. It's not all about angels and demons. There's so much more going on. So step outside of what we think we know. And that is going to assist you in everything that you want to do, everything that you want to connect with and tap into. In some place, some dimension, it all exists, but you don't always have to go to the scary parts of it. You can go to the magical, beautiful parts of it and really create the experience you want, but you have to believe and know that you are protected, okay? So some crystals I wanna mention real quick on, if you're looking, you may know these already, but just in case. Far as the black ones that are my fave now, there are tons and tons and tons of crystals that are for protection that I don't even have listed, but I have these couple. So black jade is one of my favorite ones. It does clear negativity, it does psychic protection, and it releases fear. You also can use black jade in dreams. So if you're a dreamer and you do a lot of dream work, black jade is one of those ones that you can set by your bed, put underneath your pillow or in your room, set the intention to work with the energy protection through your dream state. Lava rock, and if you don't know which one, up here in this top left corner is the black jade, and if you go over to the right top corner is the lava rock. That one is for more grounding and protection, okay? And if you look back down here to the lower left, you have black kyanite, which is not only a calming, but a protection as well. I actually carry black kyanite in my wallet, okay? And down here to the lower right is your black tourmaline, grounding and protection. Now, black tourmaline is one of my favorites. I actually keep it on my desk, and I will always tell everyone when I remember it was like, I can't remember this last year, I think it was 2019. It was either the end of 2019 or early 2020. I had a big piece on my desk, and I would always switch. I was still switching the camera so you could look down at the cards. And I remember the big piece on my desk as I was doing the readings shattered. It shattered on the live. And
Yeah, I remember that. I was about to say that that thing shattered because it sucks the energy. Ugh.
yeah. So, it does absorb the negative energy, and that's just how much was coming through on the lives. So not that lives are bad, not that, social media, not that social media is bad. It's more of just realize what you're doing, especially if you're going live, okay? That is something that you are going to have negative people on there. You are going to have depressed people on there. You are going to have people on a lower vibration. So yes, these crystals do help.
Especially if you're like an empath and you feel everybody's energy, and as soon as you get on live or as soon as you get around people, you start to feel everyone. Having that, I carry a black tourmaline everywhere I go, and I've already went through like 3 just because it's like it just shattered, not really shattered, but just broke in half, and it's like it's done, and I bury it and give it back to Mother Earth, and go get another one.
Right. I mean, they are, like I said, beautiful and strong. So they're, if you might even already have these in your stuff. Okay. So I love these. These are like my top ones out of all of them. Now, of course, I don't even think I have Tiger's Eye listed, but Tiger's Eye is a huge one for carrying around in protection against evil, darker shit, deeper shit. One thing I can tell you is that anyone with a higher purpose, there is going to be more negative energy that's coming towards you, okay? And it just it is what it is. It's like you can't really get around that, okay? When we look at labradorite is one of the, it's an old stone. It's just one of those ones, okay? It's about energy. It's a powerful protector, balancing, grounding, strengthening your psychic abilities. This is one of those ones, especially when doing mediumship, that you should have, because it is about your psychic abilities and intuition, banishing fear and insecurity. So it definitely helps you step into your courage as well. Labradorite is one of my favorite ones. It's just very expensive. So that's the problem with labradorite. It's one of those more expensive stones. When you go to the next one, which is suglite, which is this purplish one, that one is good for aligning all your chakras, releasing anger and rage, energy, protection, helps you pull in higher vibrational energy. So when you're working and you're doing these mediumship, or even like I said, if you're connecting with your own team, this is pulling in your higher team to you and allowing you to connect. So these stones do assist, okay? Now, of course, black obsidian is one of my faves. I actually have a big piece. I'll show you guys in a minute. It's sitting on my desk. It's a very powerful, it is an old stone, but it's more crystal texture than stone, but it's very protective, supportive energy, repels negative energy, and helps with self-control. So I love the fact that it repels negative energy, okay? And so when we're looking at some of these celestite up here in the top left corner, this one is really good at connecting with angels, okay? Your higher realm angel energy. If you need angel protection, I actually use this in a lot of my candle work. I actually have a couple celestite pieces that I bring out and put it with that, even when I'm saying thank you to the angels that assist me on my path. It purifies, it's a healing and harmonic stone, and it's also powerful in energy. So that angelic guidance is definitely part of it. I'm sorry if you guys hear my dog crying over here. On the lower left side, you have the Botswana agate, which is another one of my faves. Removes dualities and conflict, removes physical and emotional trauma. So when it comes to that psychic realm, also, you have the psychic protection when it comes to the stone as well. And of course, over to your right is the clear quartz. Clear quartz is that one that everyone should have. I actually have like 3 pieces of clear quartz on my desk. Not only is it powerful, positive vibrations, deep soul cleansing, but it's a master healer and a purifier. So it's about transmuting energy, clearing the energy around you and changing it into positive energy. So if you do not have clear quartz, make sure that you get it, okay? Top fave, of course, is amethyst here at the top left, which is a psychic awareness stone. It is very powerful when it comes to opening other dimensions and allowing you to kind of move through dimensions and connect. You also can use amethyst in your dream state. So anyone doing dream state work, amethyst is going to be one of those ones that work really good. So it also works with the subconscious third eye chakra connection, okay? And then everyone pretty much knows about selenite, but in case you don't, not only is it, you know, one of those cleansers, clear purifiers, but it can clean you. It also can clear your tools, your other crystals. So can clear quartz. So clear quartz and selenite are properties are similar, except clear quartz is a master healer. And selenite, not that it's lesser, but it's just more on the cleansing, purifying state, okay? Then I will give it over to Jesse. If you're talking, you're on mute.
Of course. And back to what I was saying. Goodness. All right. So ways that you can protect yourself. So one of the ways is psychic cloaking. So I don't know if you guys like heard of like Harry Potter, if you've seen Harry Potter, and he has like this blanket, and when he covers himself with this blanket, he like just disappears, right? So you can like have something kind of like that, using your imagination to have whatever it is protect you. You can have like a shower of gold, or you see this woman in this picture, she has a bubble around her that is helping her, shield her and protecting her from her energy, for, you know, just anything negative or whatever, it's protecting her. That is also a way that you can imagine these things, the shower or the bubble or whatever you feel comfortable with. If it's holding a crystal in your hand, you know, that also is another form of cloaking and having that energy be within you and not having it any outside energy or anything that's not protecting you come to you. Also, calling on your angels is another way of protection. So ask your angels, you know, can call on Archangel Michael, call on, you know, whoever it is that you're drawn to. I know there's multiple angels out there that are for protection. So do a little history, do some research, and, you know, let me know too that, you know, whatever angels that you call on, your angels, the archangels, whoever, that is also another way of sending protection. And like I was saying with the psychic shower of light, that gold light, imagining you're literally in a shower of just light before you go into a session, before you go out, before you go and do a live, imagining it for a few minutes or a few seconds. That is also, it's the intent behind it. So when you put that intent behind that protecting you, that shower, nothing is going to go against you, or, you know, whatever. That is also, it can help you balancing of your energy. So you always want to make sure you're balanced. You don't want to go in to something when you're unsure or you have a lot going on, right? You're like the two pentacles and you're just like juggling a whole lot of things, and you want to make sure you're balanced. So you want to make sure you're meditating, you're in a good space, and everything is just going right for you. That also can help protect you, because when your mind is right and you set that intent of today is going to be a great day, I'm sending, I am protected, doing those affirmations and believing it also is ways that help you. Going into those daily rituals, when you wake up in the morning, after you shower and brush your teeth or whatever you do, have those positive affirmations, have that, before I go outside, I call on my angels to protect me throughout the day, against any negative energy, kind of like set that emotion, set that intent when you go out into the world and do the rest of your day. So that you're protected. So then you don't always have to call on for protection, because I've noticed with me, I it's slowly but surely me having less, because I know I stand in my power and I believe in my ancestors and I believe in my spirit team that they are protecting me. But the more you start to implement that into your lifestyle, the less you'll have to do, and imagine certain things that you are protected. Okay. And then I don't know if you want to add on to that or not. So for some tips for protecting the black crystals that AG was telling you guys about, definitely invest and carry it with you. Whichever ones that you're called on to, definitely hit her up on her crystal lives and just buy one, you know what I mean? Whatever one that you're drawn to, whichever one is calling you, and carry it around with you. I have one on my nightstand that does not move. And then mirroring yourself. So, that saying, what you put out into the world is what you get back. That's kind of what I feel with that mirroring. So when you imagine yourself looking at yourself and say these things, you're mirroring it and you're putting it back into you. So know that when you go into protecting, you saying that to yourself, you are protected. It's bringing it back into you and into your energy. And then you have the aura clearing sprays, so if you don't like always burning sage or burning Palo Santo and, things like that, incense, there's sprays out there. AG has some, I support this woman like 1000% because her stuff really, really works, y'all. She has these sprays and she has this calming spray. And when I feel like I'm like going too much or I keep forgetting, I use that spray. And like literally, I don't know if it's because of the scent that she has in there or whatever intent that she put in it, it just seconds, it just calms and things just go back to normal, kind of, in a way. And if you feel, I feel like honestly, not does it just clear and keep me calm, but I also feel that reassurance of that protection, because if I'm in a negative mood or whatever, I spray it. And if I think down on myself or, whatever, and I spray it, it brings me back up. And I'm like, okay, I feel this. I am that. I am, like, it reminds me for some reason. So I definitely would suggest you guys kind of invest in that. Epsom salt bath or cleanse. If you guys don't like taking baths, you guys can take actual spiritual showers to cleanse you. Buy you a white bar soap or, and just as you're washing up, literally, say it out loud or say it to yourself every time you take a shower, even that you're just removing all of this negative energy. You're bringing in that protection. You're bringing in, anything good. And as you see you know, when you're washing up and you see everything going down the drain, just imagine all that negativity that you're washing it off, and it's going down and it's gone, and you're leaving it, you know, going it down. But if you love taking those baths, you can definitely use that Epsom salt and clear that energy as well. With the frequency meditations, I really want to stress to be very, very careful, because going into this, I did not know that it could really, really do some damage. I not only do my ears are very sensitive, but going into my spiritual path, they've become like 100 times more sensitive. So there is different frequencies that are out there that can help with protection, that can help with cleansing, and, you know, a whole lot of different things. There's different sound frequency numbers. But just be very, very careful. Make sure your guys' volume is on low. Sometimes that doesn't even matter, because it could be too low or it could be too high. It can be way too strong or maybe not strong enough, but it was kind of hard for me to listen to something. I've noticed in the 800s, my left ear is fine, but my right ear is like, yeah, no. So just be very careful when it comes to that. I don't know if you want to touch on that, EG, and share your experience on the frequencies and stuff.
Yeah. So that's especially if you're on YouTube and you're looking at the hertz, you know, there's some that are like 200, 300, 400, 500, all the way up to like 1,000 hertz or more. One of the things that I didn't realize, especially in the beginning, is because when you're really getting into practicing your path and you're raising your vibration, things that used to happen will change and grow as you're growing. So like there was a time where I used to get the ringing in my ears. I no longer get ringing in my ears, and that kind of changed. The frequency, even what I've heard, changed from a ringing to a tone to sometimes it was like a radio frequency. And then sometimes I got very sensitive on sound, and then I got very sensitive on light. So just know, as you're growing and changing, your senses will grow and change and be very sensitive. So just be very mindful about that, because it can hurt, the frequencies. Some of those frequencies fucking hurt my ears because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for them, and the little tones in them were actually too much. So as you're going, just notice if you start to get sensitive, just be mindful, put your glasses on, or do lower their vibration. Maybe don't listen to 800 hertz if you're not ready to listen to 800 hertz. Listen to something lower, okay? So I'm having puppy issues, y'all. My dog needs attention.
It's puppy time.
Like, on the last nerves. So just remember that. And on the sprays, yes, I do have a couple sprays like that, clearing sprays. One's the Just Breathe, which is that's the calming one. And then there's the Not Today Satan, which is the one that's more protection and clearing negative energies from around you. So yeah, just be mindful as you're changing and growing. Even if you've been doing this and getting back into it, you're still going to start to get sensitive on some levels, and just be mindful. You want to make sure, especially with the frequencies, because that can hurt, and it is very like, oh shit, you know, especially if you're going to sleep with it.
Yeah, definitely. I remember at one point, I was listening to something, I forgot what hertz it was, but that whole day, my ears were ringing, and my head was like, you know, it wasn't really hurting, but it was like, oh my God, like I'm never listening to that again, because I clearly wasn't ready. My energy was not ready for that. I don't know if it just caught me off guard or whatever, but that whole day I was like, yeah, no.
Right.
So
right now, it's like a whisper. It's a very light whisper now. And like I said, my tone, that ringing has changed so many fucking tones. It's ridiculous. And I remember at one time it was like putting a seashell to my ear. That's how there was one time that I would actually feel like I'm underwater, and I had swimmer's ear, knowing I wasn't in the pool. So just know that your senses of smell, everything's gonna go up and down as you're practicing, especially if you're getting your day-to-day practice going. Everything's gonna keep changing. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? So don't hesitate to get in our inbox and ask us, because more than likely it's very common. And you're just going to have to keep a track of your sensitivity, because it will be a thing. There's days where I am very sensitive to light, and especially when I was really working on, you know, vibration or whatever. I just really going outside, it was just too much. It just seemed too much. My eyes were very sensitive, and it was just like, oh my God, what's going on? So just be mindful about that. This is my obsidian that I have on my desk, y'all. This is the one that I have. I've meant to show you, but got distracted by my dog over here. All right, so remember I was saying about vulnerability. Okay, so we don't want to be doing mediumship and opening up our gifts and stuff when we are in our lower vibration. And believe me, life fucking happens. You guys, life is life. You just have to understand that, right? So when you are stressed, that's being in a lower vibration. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means it is a lower vibrational energy to be in, okay? So when you're overstimulated, when you got too much going on, I mean, when you're all over the place and you're scattered and you can't sit still and your mind is going a million places, that is also a lower vibration, because you're not balanced in that moment, okay? Illness brings you to a lower vibration. Bereavement, grief, that's a huge one. Grief is normally the biggest one that is our block to opening and connecting with past loved ones, because we have to get past that acceptance of it and understand that death is a process. As soon as we're born, we are going to die. And the sooner we get that and understand that, then that grief process becomes a little bit easier for us to maneuver in. Depression, betrayal, accidents, addictions, trauma, indecisiveness, laziness, neglecting of boundaries is a lower vibration. Why? Because you don't love yourself enough and you're struggling with unworthiness. So whenever we're going through this stuff, not that you're bad in these moments, it's just you shouldn't really be working and trying to connect when you're in like really lower vibrations. Will there always be stress? Yes, but it's how you work with it. It's how you stay in it or not stay in it. If you're stressed, do you let it consume you? Do you let it start to affect you health-wise? Or do you, okay, I'm stressed in this moment, let me get in my meditative state, let me clear this out, let me go back to a happier state. So remember, it's all about how you do in these moments. Are you staying in this energy, or are you switching and moving away from it? And are you healing and getting to those higher vibrations? Because when we're in the higher vibrations, we hit these, or we react to these situations a lot differently versus staying in them and wallowing in the energy. Not to say that any of these are easier than the other, but just understand the more you stay in any one of these, the harder it gets, okay? Fear is a big one, okay? Do not fear the unknown. Do not fear the dark. Do not fear what's coming at you. Immaturity of your soul is another one, because of course, if you're an immature soul, there's a lot of things you don't understand, you don't get. Kind of hard for you to tap in and to connect with a past loved one. Sitting, feeling defeated, loss, exhaustion, failure to have reality checks. So there's a lot of people that then go too far into the imaginary, okay? There's some people that go way too far into it. You have to be able to come back to reality, because we are in this 3D physical plane, right? So we have to understand that, but be able to shift in and out of the dimensions, connecting, but still be able to focus and thrive. Sudden psychic awakening is, we go through many psychic awakenings, you guys. I know everyone talks about like their first primary spiritual awakening, but as you go through your path, you will see that you have a lot of small ones. Even along, if you look back, you're like, damn, I can pinpoint how many times I went through something crazy that really woke me up. Those are those psychic awakenings. You just have to process it and then move forward, okay? Don't let your imagination run wild. Remember, you have to differentiate you and the past loved one, or you and the angel, you and the ancestor. So you have to get clear on who you are in a situation and what the information is coming towards you. Don't, if you even for a second guess what you're thinking, don't fucking go with it, okay? Because anything coming from a past loved one, spirit, angel, is gonna be really quick, precise, and to the point. You're not gonna overthink it. You're not gonna be like, just let it go, okay? Just remember, assault, violence, sexual abuse, all of that stuff is when we can't process and work through these things and we stay in an energy of a victim, it's a lower vibration. So just remember that. This is where you're most vulnerable for other lower entities to come in and now fuck with your path, okay? And it's not that, yes, all negative energies are just out to sabotage us. There is some of that in this business, okay? Because some of them have jobs to do too, but it's more of us staying in that negative energy to call them in because we think they're attacking us. So as long as you push that out of your mind and get it where, no, they're not attacking me, I don't want nothing to do with them, they're not my reality, then you won't have to deal with them, okay? So any one of these things coming up for you, make sure you're dealing with it, make sure you're taking care of yourself and don't stay in these energies because you are open to psychic attacks, not just from lower level energies, this is psychic attacks from anybody, okay? Exactly. If you allow it, they come, right? But this is also from other people. We know this business gets very competitive and there's a lot of haters. We know this, okay? So do understand on that level. It's not even the lower energies that you really have to worry about. It's the fucking people in the spiritual community sometimes that you're just like, damn, well, okay. You should never fear them either because their shit, anybody's hate, envy, jealousy is only going to work if you believe in it. So just remember, everything is your belief system, and that is huge in this path. So we're going to do a little sensing. Now, this is one of those things where we have this lovely picture here for you. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to look at it. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. You're going to look at it. Close your eyes or just stare at it. I want you to write down what you feel, what you see, what you sense, and what you hear. Pay attention to any dates that are popping up to you. Pay attention to like vivid characters, male or female. Just pay attention to really what is coming up. Pay attention to if you're feeling any aches and pains, if you're feeling any rage, sadness, what are you seeing? One of the things you are very protected in this circle, but should you get to a point where you're feeling too much fear, I want you to stop, open your eyes, and don't look at this, okay? I want you to stop the session because I don't want anyone to be sitting in a place of fear looking at this, okay? Jess, you're gonna add some.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna basically just say pay attention to your 5 senses, you guys. That was basically it, but then you had said it, so.
Okay. So I'm going to actually put myself on mute in my camera so I don't distract you. But I just want you, like I said, I'll give you 5 minutes. Look at the screen and really document what you're feeling, what you're sensing in this moment. Okay. All right, so let's hear how we did. Who's going first?
I can. I noticed I kept getting like a cold chill, especially like the back part of my body. For some reason, even when I kept trying to scan like the whole figure itself, I kept getting leaned more to the left side. To that area just kept going back, even though I kept trying to go in other directions. For some reason, I just kept feeling that. I can say I felt a sense of sorrow coming from it. As far as getting something like I guess a little bit more clear in depth, I didn't. It's just like I got the feelings where I just literally felt like there was a presence over me with the chills when I look at it.
Okay, okay. Anybody else?
I got cold as well. I kind of felt coldness coming from it. I felt a little sad. And maybe I wondered, I guess I was feeling like maybe people were left there, or just, I don't know, it felt like there was maybe some abandonment or something. I was feeling some feminine energy. I also found myself wondering about like who had occupied that area at one point, and I felt a little bit of loneliness. That's what I have.
Okay, okay. Brenda, did you get anything? If you're talking, you're on mute. Nope. Okay.
Hello?
All right, I hear you.
Do you hear me? I'm in safe driving mode, y'all. I do a late night carpool to get people home from work. So I'm in safe driving mode, but I'm listening.
Oh, okay, okay. So just, you'll just add this to your homework book and just do this.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so just kind of, it's an abandoned insane asylum, actually. But this thing is right.
Okay, so I wasn't too off there.
No.
Definitely not. Okay. So this was built in the late 1800s, just so you guys know. It was there for, I want to say, damn near 100 years. And it went, of course, everyone that was considered crazy went, and they had all kind of crazy practices from, just crazy, not even, because there was no rules, when this thing was made, there was no rules. So there were people tortured, there were people that were hurt, in all kind of ways that you can imagine in this place. It was so bad that this place shut down, I believe 1995. And they did what they did a couple years later. After that, they went to tear it all down and build property like homes, and some crazy ass fire started, and they said no. So now it's just an abandoned lot with that structure still there, because they won't even go in and demolish it. They refuse to go in and demolish it. So now it's just a haunted place in Wales now. Because of how much happened. When you go, it's supposedly this eerie, bad feeling, and everyone gets it. Everyone gets all the sadness and stuff coming from there, but there was a lot of torture. Remember, back before they actually even instilled any rules to the insane asylums, they were basically just doing whatever they felt they could or should do to the people that they thought were insane. Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What accent would you say would like come from someone in that time? Because I kept getting like an English type of British type accent that kept coming to my mind. And I honestly wanted to say I felt like 1815s. I wanted to say that,
Mhm.
but
I know it
that's
was
that
in,
was
yeah, I know it was in, I think, I know it was in the late 1800s somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where. I'd have to look, but it is that kind of accent. I'm not exactly sure in Wales back then, like what it was, but it would sound like that. If it was someone's voice going to pop up, most likely it would pop up like that because it is European. And I want to say Britain is the,
Yeah, it's British.
yeah,
Wales, yeah.
that would be more of what they say just off the top of my head.
that's what kept coming in my mind, and I was like brushing it off. And then, like I said, I kept wanting to like 1815 kept popping up in my mind, and I was like, well, maybe I'm wrong, so I didn't say that. But like that's what kept popping up in my mind over and over again.
And see, that's how you just go. Whatever's there, just go.
Exactly. Exactly. You see, you firsthand witnessing that doubt.
Definitely felt it was a mental asylum. I was definitely feeling that, but I didn't want to say it.
So that's where we say don't doubt what's coming up for you, because even though you're like, no, it is going to be the information. This is why you don't hold back in a session, because it may seem crazy to you, or maybe it might seem outlandish to you, but you never know what is the truth on the other end. So this is where you have to trust what's coming up for you, because then we would have been like, yeah, that British accent makes sense, right? This is from Wales. It's an asylum from Wales. This is something that was, it was created in the 1800s. I know it was like, I want to say more of the late 1800s, but it was there for years, okay? And then, of course, it's a crazy house, right? So, of course, you felt that. So go with it. Do not doubt what's coming up for you. All right, so.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Was it mostly women that they put there?
It might have been, but whatever I read didn't just say mostly women. It was like an insane asylum for everyone.
Okay.
And then it
literally, energy.
I want to say that it literally was from the 1800s when it was built to the early 1900s before they instilled. It was like the Mental Act came into play, but that wasn't until the early 1900s. So for a very long time, they were just fucking doing whatever they wanted to.
They were like lab rats, basically. And I remember us reading on that and how like they were going to build an apartment or something like that not too long ago. And didn't like something like was burned down, or there's like a fire or something that happened, you remember? And then because it was like haunted or whatever, then it's just been like just there.
So
if you guys got that hot feeling, or just anything that you also didn't realize, it's a fire did happen and things like that as well.
Yeah. That's what they will not touch it. Like I said, they will not touch the land. It's just an abandoned asylum until it probably decays on its own. They will not touch the land because the mysterious fire did happen. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, if you look at just the history of mental illness, a lot of women, of course, were sent to the insane asylums due to a bunch of horse shit. Witches, you know what I mean? If you were a witch, you were sent there if they thought that. So there probably was a lot more women than men, just of the dynamics, especially in Europe, where men were, higher station and could be crazy, where a woman was deemed crazy for some of the most littlest shit. And especially if some of the men wanted to get rid of their wife, they deemed them fucking crazy. So just kind of going, looking at that. As always, we always have a quote at the end. And so this one is: mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. And so everything when it comes to mediumship is mastering what you can do in your abilities, in your senses, and don't compare yourself to no one. Don't get discouraged if you're not feeling something or it's not coming strong. There's times when I can't connect, even now. You know, and I've been doing this for a while. There's times where the information just doesn't come, and that's okay. It doesn't make you less of a medium. It doesn't make you less of your abilities. It just means in this moment, you're not able to connect, or in this moment, maybe the information is not coming. Okay, so just remember to stay true to you and don't doubt or down talk yourself at all, and just be in your power, your beautiful, true power, and stay true to that. Before we go into the homework, are there any questions so far? I think, Megan, you haven't caught up, and I know Brenda hasn't caught up on class 2 yet, but any questions so far on what we've talked about, what we've gone over? If anyone's saying something, you're on mute. No. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
So, for this exercise, you had us look at an image. Would looking at, I guess, other images provoke the same thing? Like how, like the things that I got from that one, you can just.
Yeah. And I suggest trying it. You know, one of the things in the beginning of my path, I actually read photos. I don't do it now. For some reason, my abilities have changed, and I just can't tap in the same to photos as I used to. But in the beginning, I would get these crazy downloads with pictures. So try it and see what you get. You could try it with friends. You could try it with, you know, it's just something you can just try and see what you get from pictures, and then, you know, see. But photo reading is a form of mediumship. It is tapping into this photo and the energy of the photo. You're really tapping into the energy of the photo to bring the information. And remember, when you're tapping into energy, you're going beyond time and space. That's the whole beauty of shifting into energetic versus just looking at things as spiritual and as this spirit form. So when you push into the energy is ever living, ever thriving. It doesn't end, okay? And so that you could tap into a picture, you could tap into a past loved one. It's all the same if you look at it in those terms. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So your homework for this week is going to be kind of tapping into your aura, okay? Now, I don't read auras. I am more of energy based. So for me, auras just don't come through. I never see anybody's aura. Some people can see auras around people. Someone can just feel auras about people. My daughter is one of them. She doesn't see it, but she can just feel it and be like, oh, your aura is like orange and shit. And the person will be like, oh shit, that makes sense because of reading whatever orange means. Me personally, I don't tap into auras like that, but I want you to try it this week. I want you to sit and connect and see if you're able to tap into your own aura. Are you able to see it? Are you able to feel it? And what we mean by aura is, remember, you have several layers of your spirit fluttering outside of this body, right? So see how well you can tap into that. What does your own aura sound like if it has sound? Now, if you get nothing off of this, you get nothing off of it, okay? But maybe you do tap in, maybe you do see it, and then maybe look up the auras and see. All right, after you do it, let's see, let me look up green, and okay, I think that's green, and see what green says. Each aura has a positive and a negative also, so be careful when you're Googling these. Make sure you're picking up the ones that have the negative and positive, because they all have a negative and a positive to them. I do want you to observe objects, places, people. Just observe the world around you. What are you feeling? What are you hearing? What are you sensing? When you're at the grocery store, what are you sensing around you? You know, your kids, observe your kids. Just observe how they play, how they vibe. Okay, just start to really look at the world around you and see things in a different perspective. Take that step back out of what you would normally do and just look. Okay, you're going to journal, of course. I still want you to sit and connect to your higher self or your spirit team, whichever one you're trying to do. If you've already connected to your higher self and you feel very confident with that, Connect to your spirit team if you haven't connected to them. Like I said, sometimes you guys will see that you don't have a spirit team because it depends on your path. You might just have your higher self there, whichever one. If you want to go ahead and start trying to connect with your ancestors, do that. Just connect, do this, sit with either one of those, okay? Listen to the emailed meditations, because of course I will always send you some that are going to prepare you for the next class, and as well as the recording to this class.
And I am looking everywhere. I cannot seem to find the email from you.
Yeah, everyone's having that problem. I say check the spam, and remember it's coming from a different email. So the first email I used, you guys, it says, I think it says Divine One Goddess Tarot or something. This one actually says DMG Healers and Readings. So it's a different email. So most likely it's in your spam, just under a whole nother email, because I created an email just for my website.
Did you add a picture to that email? Like, did you put the logo and stuff on that email yet?
I can't remember.
I'm gonna go look, because also when it pops up, it's just like, you know how they're camped down, it just looks like a dot or whatever. That also can be another reason why it could be hard to find.
If anything, would you mind sending me it again from last week?
I don't mind sending it. It's just still going to be the other email. So
Okay.
if you don't check your spam,
No, you
it's gonna
don't.
go to your spam again. That's the only thing, because I can send it a million times, but Brenda looked in hers and it was actually in her spam. At first she wasn't finding it, but then she was spelling it wrong also, because I gave her the wrong information. It wasn't her, it was actually me typing too fast. So why is it? Okay. So yeah, I'll check it and I'll resend it. I have no problems, but and most likely if it's going to go to your spam. So just remember, it's from DMG Healers and Readings is the new Gmail that it's going to come from. It is not going to come from the AG Milestones one. Okay. Any questions on the homework? What? All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any questions, you guys can always reach out.
Thank you very much. I was really impressed with how much I was actually able to get from a picture. It was interesting to me. I didn't know that I could do that, and then all that I felt coming from it, and then feeling the validation afterwards, after you told me what the place was. I was like, oh, okay, well, all that energy makes sense. I would definitely feel scared and sad and cold and
right. And see, it's like that. It's like, oh shit, didn't know I can do that. This is where you start to realize, like, oh shit, I've been this all along. Okay, you have
right. It was weird. I was like, oh, okay.
It's all about just testing yourself and allowing yourself to do it, and not overthinking it, and don't doubt what's coming, because you never know. Even with photo readings, you can do photo readings, and just whatever comes to you. The beauty of the photo reading is just whatever flows you put down. It either sometimes it resonates, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the person has to go back. Same thing with mediumship. Sometimes it resonates, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they have to go back and ask. I've had several clients come back to me like, remember when you said this? I had a lady recently who I was doing a mediumship, and it was her ex who had passed on, and he was showing me a red tricycle. And I was like, I don't know why I'm seeing a red tricycle, but I'm seeing a red tricycle, so I'm giving it to you. And she's like, I have no idea what that means. And I was like, just hold on to it. It'll mean something or it doesn't, right? And then like not even the day or 2 days later, she was in my inbox and she sent me a picture of a red tricycle. And it was a house that she was viewing that she wanted to move in. And she actually was seeing.
Wow.
And in the garage was the red tricycle. She was like, I found the red tricycle.
Oh, and, wow. That's
and I said, oh, so he was telling you this is the house.
Right. I remember also a while ago with one of the classes, we were reading the lady together and you kept hearing that song.
It's like
It was
that.
like yeah. And she finally came back to you and was like, oh my God, we used to go to the ice cream truck or
It was the
the
carousel.
carousel music. Yeah.
I was hearing the carousel music and I was like, does that mean anything? But remember, sometimes, like the lady was elderly because we did a practice where we had people come and sit in for the students and had them read. And we ended up reading her because I think we have one less short person, or she couldn't pick up on anything. So me and Jesse decided to tap in because you could see she was very distraught and really wanted a message from her mom. And so me and Jesse just tag team and we're like, okay, let's see what we can get. And I just kept, getting this carousel. And at the moment, she couldn't think because she just wanted to hear from her mom so bad that she just could not think in the moment. And then a little bit later, the daughter had reached back out to me and she was like, my mom, she realized where the carousel music was from. And I was like, okay, where? And she said, the ice cream truck that used to come in the neighborhood played the carousel music and her mom would buy the ice cream for them. And so I was like, oh, that makes sense, but in the moment she was just so emotionally wanting the message that she could not think in that moment. Why my throat? So just remember that sometimes it may not make sense in the moment, but later on it will make sense to them most likely. Or it's something that the spirit is telling them to focus on. Because while everyone else wants a message of, I love you and I'm so proud of you, spirit knows they only have a little bit of time to get something through. Sometimes they're trying to warn them. They're trying to get their attention about something that they've been trying to tell them, And so you just go with whatever is coming towards you or coming out or what's flowing. So the picture reading is no different from the mediumship. Same energy. You're pulling the energy from the person, not the picture per se. All right.
Right.
All right, you guys. So that is the end of class 3. Woo-hoo, halfway through. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in. And AG, you drive safe.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. You guys get the homework in. Okay, get the homework in. Good night.
All right. Good night.